The E46 M3 is widely regarded as the best M3 ever made, and while this isn't an M3, it shares some characteristics that make it a great driving experience, and I can completely understand why people think that. I bought this car in about 2015. It was in really good condition. Had a couple of issues. One, that the top charge pipe was torn and brakes would squeak. So a replacement hose and some copper grease in the pads sorted those out. Later in the year I noticed that it was taking much longer to reach operating temp. This was fixed after replacing the EGR thermostat. After a few months it was time to take this thing to Germany, as we were heading back to the Nürburgring. After taking it round the Green Hill I noticed some steam coming out of the engine bay after a few days. It turns out that the EGR cooler had split and was leaking coolant and causing extremely hot gases to burn through the plastic intake pipe and wires. When I bought the car it already had the infamous swirl flaps deleted, HIDs fitted and an engine remap. Since then I've had a high flow cap downpipe installed. Replaced the LEDs in the dash to white and sharpied the needles red. There's 15mm spacers on the rear wheels, and it's got Bilstein B4 shocks and IBAC Pro Kit springs. Just give it this fitment. Maintenance that's been done include new brakes and pads all round, new rear dust shields, handbrake cables, handbrake shoes and fittings, front drop links, sway bar bushings, the glow plug control module needed swapping, and put Rain Sport 3s all around. For the last MOT there was a slight fuel leak which wasn't fun to track down and took a lot of time from prepping the micro. After getting it through the MOT the power has been much lower. I've checked it with the OBD scanner and it seems like there's a boost sensor that wasn't plugged in or has failed. The sensor is apparently right at the back of the intake. As you can see the top plastic cover is already removed and all of this has to come off. All of this and the inlet manifold has to come off, and this is the top charge pipe that was torn, which has been replaced, and I'll probably be replacing the EGR valve soon as well. But there's somewhere right in there at the back under all this the sensor is apparently either failed or not working or not plugged in. So as ever, working on this car is a huge pain. It takes ages to do anything. Even changing the air filter takes about 40 minutes. It involves stripping all of this down, all of this off again, and it's under this cover, but it's certainly not easy to get to. As I depend on my car so heavily for work, I've not got around to fixing the power until I had 5 running reliably, just in case the engine had to start being stripped down while I got replacement parts or something, as I didn't want to have to double up on the work of replacing all of this and taking it all back off again. The car still drives fine, it's just a bit slow. It's like it's not building boost, but it's not smoking like it did when it had a boost leak when the charge pipe was broken. Some of the accidents that have happened with this car, the first was probably the worst, where someone managed to reverse down the entire side of the car and ruin the passenger door and cave the door jamb in. So I had to get a new door and replace all of this plastic trim. So the body shop did a really good job of repairing. You can barely tell it's had any work done at all. The next thing is that I got bit by black ice and slid this rear end into the curb, bent the wheel in and completely buckled that lower trailing arm. Finally someone drove into the back of me in standstill traffic and punctured and cracked the rear bumper. Also seemed to stop the reversing sensors working, but I think it was just dislodged. As taking it out, cleaning the connections and reinstalling everything, it seemed to work fine. So the car was gone for a while when that was being fixed, and at the time the handbrake was very weak due to the rear dust shields being corroded. So I didn't use the handbrake unless absolutely necessary, and I warned the garage about this, but after they dropped the car off they'd ragged the handle on and caused the whole system to break, and that made the car completely undrivable. So after that the whole system was replaced. So mods on the to-do list include a front lip or splitter, go into that. Want a rear kind of roof spoiler and a CSL boot spoiler. Maybe a slight window tint, and I'm going to be using the same spray tint that I used on the indicators on the 5 to lightly smoke the tail lights and the side indicators. As you can see, these are yellowing a bit. I've been looking to mod the coding for the rear window to allow one-touch closing. Not had much luck with installing the INPA software and getting it to communicate properly with the car. Hopefully I can get hold of a 330 CD, a donor car, to transfer the headlights and washer jets, as they are the factory HID xenon ones, and nowadays you need a functioning washer in order to pass MOT. If I can find a suitable solution, I'd like to install a limited slip diff, but not sure how much work that would actually be. I want to install a Android touchscreen head unit that would also be used to replace this dash cam. This is also a reversing camera, so I'd like to condense that all into the one unit. As you can see, I've retrimmed the steering wheel, which I think I could do with going over again and adding a bit more padding, because it seems to have thinned out a little bit. So that's where we're up to with Alice, and some ideas of what I'm hoping to do in the future. Thanks for watching, see you in a bit.